painted all of that. If you haven't seen it, it looks really, really good.
That's at Kelly Viewpoint.
Kelly Viewpoint. It's all new, black, and it's got that vinyl on it, and it's all new.
Well, I went by there the other day, and something was different. And I didn't know it had been so long since I paid any attention to it or what, and I was a little startled. So I'm interested in what you did there.
And we refreshened the signs going in, the kids, and they look new. And we planted some trees in the backside where they had bug damage, and we put 10 new trees back there. We planted them, and like the city project that the playground there, the wood structure that the city went together. That was back in somewhere in the 80s, maybe late 80s or 90s.
No, it's 90s.
90s. And anyway, the plaques that were the kids' hands, they were vandalized and taken down, but they had saved the plaques, and so we put those, as many as we could, back up. So that was our project for that Saturday.
Well, that's a pretty good project.
So we're still doing, not all the time development, but sometimes it's redevelopment to, again, preserve what somebody did before us.
Well, like out there, McDonald's gave us a flagpole and had the eagle on the top. Well, probably within a week, somebody shimmied up that flagpole and took the eagle off. And there's been other vandalism out there.
Well, those
shovel.
beautiful, and I think Tom Sperry built them, those nice water fountains that were supposed to be indestructible. He made them out of basalt rock and stainless steel. It was less than one summer, and they destroyed the one up there at Thompson Park. There is still one left. They had 3 or 4 of them in the community. There's still one left up by the softball fields, where you come out of your house there, in that corner. There's still one of those left at Tom. The supposedly indestructible water fountains. There's one left.
Kids want to do something, he'll do it.
Yeah.
That's no kidding.
And that's too bad, you're fighting that for all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Still happening.
Yep. Well, one other interesting story to me, at least, is that Thompson Park was property that Dr. Thompson, at one time there was 3 main doctors in town. Dr. Thompson was one of them. He delivered me and most everybody else in my generation. And I wanted to make that ground out there by the swimming pool bigger. And so we started negotiating for add-on to the south side of it. And this went on for a while. It was in a trust managed by the U.S. Bank, and I think the guy's name was George McFall, that was managing the trust for the bank, and he was a tough nut to crack. And our approach was, if she did that by December 31st, right, she could call that a donation and deduct it. Now, I don't know where that idea may have came from, but anyway, it started to sell. And then they were willing to negotiate. And then in December, he says, well, let's go and get it done by December 31. Well, about the time it was a go, we ended up with 10 inches of snow, and the surveyor couldn't get out there and do the job. But we knew about where the line was supposed to be, where she wanted it. And so we measured by this rock to this rock to this rock, and then took the last rock and lined it up to a porch post on the other side of Mill Creek. Then took a picture that was pretty well all white, and drew on the picture the lines where these rocks were and so forth, and sent those to Portland to get approval. And she had to, or we had to accept it before she could get the deduction. And the roads were closed part of the time. We finally got through on just about the last day. And I got a map here.
So it was actually deeded to the city at that time, John?
Yeah, there wasn't to the Lions Club. It takes you a minute here to kind of get yourself organized. But this is the monument block right here. And this is the pool. Along here is all the land that we got donated to us, which says 5 acres.
So what did the legal description look like if you didn't have a survey? Or did that come later?
That must have snuck under the fence.
As many things did in the Dells.
Oh, that's a hoot.
But at one time, there was a Jack Harper that was lying, and he worked for Martin Marietta, and he was their PR man. And so I was trying to say, well, maybe we ought to see how we can get the rest of that land in there. And we kind of come up with the idea of maybe we could get it for $150,000 or something like that. And so Jack took to that idea too, and he went back to Bethesda to make a presentation, so see if we could get that land. They furnished the money to buy it from the Thompsons, and he told about the guy had to go get the approval, and he was stone-faced and gruff, and it was only a one-way conversation when you went to him. And he presented his case, and all the guy did is he said, "Sounds good to me." And so Jack was all pumped up about that, and then Martin Marietta sold.
They became Lockheed Martin.
Yeah, but in the meantime, I think the city did a little trading out here in the end, and gave us the rest of the frontage to the creek. And there was some 2 or 3 motel units there right along the road, and we got those
That's right.
removed.
Part of the old Mill Creek Motel.
Yeah.
Right on Mill Creek.
Yeah,
I'd forgotten about that.
just the end of the bridge. But we sweat blood over that for a little bit, but it came out pretty well. You know, we almost doubled the size of the swimming pool property.
So was this the original swimming pool property?
Yeah.
Okay, so the pool was here, and then of course you added here to get that built, and then had this added on, which almost doubled it. Doubled the original size.
Yeah. And I think they wanted to have a wider road in there for a street, for whatever the reason might be. And so they were willing to trade some of this Mill Creek property from 6th Street over to this property in order to have the creek frontage. We got the bluff, so if a kid fell off that, we'd get sued, I guess.
I'm curious, you know Bert Hodges?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know the park that's out on 6th Street that he created many years ago? It's an RV park.
Yeah.
We're working to revitalize that, and I don't know. We're in negotiations. It's of course difficult because he didn't get any permits apparently, and it's also in the
Scenic
Gorge Commission. So, what we would love as the city to revitalize that and open it as a RV park. But boy, it's a rough road.
Oh, it is. You know, now you pay for all the past sins by somebody else.
That's true, and that's
Well, you're
But-
just trying to help them straighten it out.
that's what we're trying to do. But it's really difficult.
Like I said, John, Tim, I've been in this town 35 years now. And I know when I first came, your idea was, let's not build a hat on this, let's just get rid of it at that time, that old monument, because it was, not gonna get finished. It was, I think we found out when we put the roof on, it was starting to deteriorate bad then, because they couldn't even anchor very well to the stone that was there, because it was sandstone or something, and it wasn't
Yeah.
a good anchor, so we found that out then. So it took 33 years from the time I got here, but Tim finally got it down. Of course, everything's going a different purpose, but now the skate park with the nice pool we've got out there now, and you mentioned that they came in with the bids high. Well, some things don't change, because they had to deal with that again this time.
That's why we got involved.
Well, I got involved with Carl Kozad and Park and Rec, and he got a little committee together, and we interviewed five engineering firms or designer firms or whoever would come up with that kind of a deal. And we told them what we thought we'd like to have. So they all came up with their own designs. And one of them we liked better than the other four. And I gave they all came on booklets, and then we decided the next step was to get them to evaluate the cost. Well, then it started running into money.
Real money.
Yeah, it was real money. Parks and Rec had some, Lions Club threw in some, and there was another fund that somebody had that was for building a new pool. And we got that money and we put them all together in order to get that estimate. I think the estimate came out 14 million. Boy, it wiped us out right there,
Yeah.
And then I never heard anything more about it until somebody come and I was telling them about it. It was near the city or Park or Rec or whatever.
Right.
So I gave them that plan for construction. They thought they knew somebody that ought to have that. It wasn't doing any good sitting on my shelf. So I did, but I never heard anything from anybody else whether they ever used that, but haven't been to a log good, so I haven't been around the pool. But ours was indoor, and we never looked at the option of having it totally outdoor. But it looks like they kind of took that as a little bit of a starting point and went from there.
I think they did, and what they ended up with, it is a beautiful pool. It is a great facility, and it's people in it all the time. And
Well,
the neat thing is the little water park part of it, or the splash
Park.
area. We were there. Oh, it wasn't 7 days old yet that they'd opened it, and there were families there that they couldn't afford the entrance, but they were there getting cool in the hot weather and playing, and everybody was grinning, and it was
I haven't heard
well done.
a negative word about it. I'm not out in the public much.
I don't think they actually finally got it finished. Well, they didn't have, I don't know if they had everything done by the end of the summer, that they had to wait till people left so they could do some final finish work on it.
Well, they opened it on time because the pressure was
Yeah,
down, but they did a good job.
no, it was a real success.
Well, I'd like to think I had a little part in it, but nobody's telling me I did, so I guess I accept that.
No, you and the Lions Club did, because I think those studies didn't completely go away. And I think it was, I don't remember how long ago, but if I remember right, we put $25,000 in with the hospital foundation
To design it,
for the design part.
yeah.
Yeah,
But this is an alteration, I think, of that same one.
yeah.
Well, anyone that was, Jerry Ernest tells us that you had a major impact on the community from the 60s, well, for a lot of years. So that's where I heard about your name. And
Well.
so Jerry says great things about you.
Jerry's just a good neighbor.
Oh,
He
he's
used
a
to live
good,
next door.
he's a good man too.
Oh, yeah.
We,
no doubt about that.
and John, anything I said, I tried to keep it positive.